So I grew up in a family where there was nothing like religion. It was quite a violent family. My dad was really hooked on alcohol, which made him extremely violent, and therefore I grew up in great fear, and the only way I could overcome that was becoming violent myself. I didn't know any way to stop people bullying and picking on me other than to start being violent and protecting myself. I was full of fear and, you know, instability, and somehow it gave me some kind of feeling of confidence, and the ability to protect myself was a wonderful thing. That then led me into meeting with people who were into crime, drugs. I became addicted, I was in and out of prison, and my life really just spiraled down from there. Whilst in prison, I often tried to read the Bible, but it made no sense at all, until one day, out of the blue, God suddenly spoke. I can't explain it, but it began a process of 10 days of questions and answers, and the answers were given through His Word. Until on the 10th day, I said to Him, I'm not moving again until you move me. And it was at that point He told me I'd become His son, in whom He was well pleased. I stood up and called Him Father in prayer for the first time that day. And I suddenly found that the door of the cell opened. There was an officer there, and I walked out, and next door there was a book right in front of the door on a locker called I Dare to Call Him Father. And it just confirmed that it wasn't just my imagination, that God was real. At first, being good was not too difficult, but I slowly began to understand that for me, it was impossible. Over 10 years, I had to learn this lesson, that without God, I can do nothing. And when I had almost died from drug abuse, mental institutions, etc., it was at that point that God returned and taught me the lesson that what He really wanted was relationship through His Son Jesus Christ. Here we are in the church where I was at the time, in those early days, and I left a service and walked through a local park, and halfway through in the darkness, God asked me a question. What would you do if someone come to mug you now? I obviously had a good answer. I'd get my back against a big tree that was nearby, and I would hit anything that come near me until I could get away. And then this process went through my mind of, you can't do that anymore, you're a Christian. And I thought, well, of course I can. I've still got fists, I've still got the tree. And I realized, no, you can't. It's not the way God is. And at that point, my fear and my vulnerability of childhood returned to me 1,000-fold. Everything in the park wanted to kill and destroy me, and I wanted to run through the park as a small child screaming. And then I heard God say, but don't worry, from now on you won't have to. And I knew that He was going to protect me. So actually, this was put to the test within a couple of weeks, when we had a man in the church demanding money with menace. He grabbed hold of my shirt around the neck and told me what would do if he took the money off me. And somehow I had this wonderful peace and knew that everything was okay. And he couldn't deal with that. It's all about relationship with Him. It's not about being good and pure and special. You're just Him and you through Jesus Christ.